Hey guys, what's up? It's Tofu here, bringing you guys another Kingdom Hearts Union Cross video. Today we're going to be talking about the new banner that just dropped for Stained Glass 12, and I'm also going to be going over my raid setup and explaining why I have those medals in my raid setup. But before we get into that, I just want to go into my pet training slot and train one of my raid medals. Hopefully we get lucky here with a good trait. Dang it. Right, plus 200 strength. Either looking for raids 100 or extra 120, but that's fine because those rarely show up. But here we are, Stained Glass 12. Should you save or should you skip? So, deals 3 hits, 2 turns, speed metal strength by 7,000, strength uprate, speed strength by 15, defense uprate and speed defense down by 15, special attack bonus by 220%, gauge plus 3, and count plus 0. Damage is pretty decent, and its supernova is for 2 turns, speed metal strength by 8,000, strength uprate and speed strength by 15, targets defense uprate and speed defense down by 15, special attack bonus by 320%, and a 250 times multiplier on the supernova. This medal has a pretty solid strength stat of 51,510 with chips, and yeah, overall a not bad medal. This would mainly just be used for clearing content, not really for Colosseum, as it doesn't give the full strength buffs as most of the other medals, so this is just to like sustain your damage throughout all 3 turns, and is overall not that bad of a medal. However, I do not think that it is that worth it, once again, just because it is a 10 pull Mercy unless you guys do get super lucky and get them, and also because if you are going for these medals, you might as well just be going for the Supernova plus Mom Kyrie, or Melody of Memory Kyrie, just because that medal is extremely ridiculous. But again, I don't think it's worth 120,000 jewels to get it, and these banners don't come with trait medals, and don't also come with 10 Supernova plus medals. So in my opinion, not very worth it. Another thing that you guys should factor in is that another medal basically does the same thing, but just slightly worse, but has a bit more utility, and that medal I'm talking about is this Xion right here. So she does 2 turns, speed metal strength by 6,000, so that's only 1,000 below the new Stained Glass 12, and then she also does actually pierce defense boost by 30%, so she can be more usable in your PvP setups and in your 2-turn buffing setups as well. And for her supernova, again, it's just 1,000 strength below the Stained Glass 12, so 2 turns, speed metal strength by 7,000, and all the rest is just kind of just buffs. So yeah, this medal is just a slightly worse version of that Stained Glass, but she also is reversed, which we are kind of lacking a lot of reverse medals right now. But overall, I think you guys should skip this banner because there is already something like her in the final boss Xion, and she just doesn't really have that much utility other than clearing content, and also the fact that you have to spend 30,000 jewels on this medal if you actually want a decent chance of getting it, and also the fact that you can't cross-pull any of these other medals in this banner are all reasons why I do not think that this medal is worth it, at least for now. Unless you guys really do have the jewels to spend for that Melody of Memory Kyrie, or you just really like this artwork, then I definitely do not recommend pulling for this medal. Alright, let's move on to my raid setup and explain why I have my medals where they are. Alright guys, so here's my raid setup. As you can see, it's just 5 medals over here. So we have my raid form Sora, who's a copy medal, does plus 1,000 strength and copies the next medal. I do not have perfect traits on all of my medals just because I haven't bought the VIP to get those perfect traits, so for now I'm just stuck with all these 40 traits, but they're still pretty much good enough for me, for now anyway, because we also do have these boosters for this month, and that really helps out my raid setup quite a bit. Then we have my Kyrie. I use her primarily after this raid form just for the buffs that she gives, if you don't care about the supernova for raiding. The metal strength plus 10,000 is really key for my raid setup, and also the 2020 multiplier that my raid form Sora copies. And then here, I'll show you the traits. Just a 50% extra attack. She does not deal damage in the raid setup, however. And then we have my Supernova plus Cage 2 Sora and Riku. So they do plus 10,000 metal strength and ignores target's attributes, which is amazing for raiding. And also it is deals more damage the higher your HP, so it doesn't really matter when you're raiding. And here are my traits. Again, not perfect, just because I haven't bought the VIP for it. But, yeah, it should be good enough for me for now. Then we have my Sora, obviously from Annie. He's amazing. Ignores target attributes, which is incredible for raiding. And then, yeah, pretty sweet multiplier as well, and decent traits. Not perfect, again, but decent. Then we have my final medal. Ignore target attributes again. And then here are the traits. That sweet extra 120% extra attack is really nice, especially for raids. So, oh, I forgot to mention that this medal also ignores target attributes. So why do these medals all have ignores targets attributes? It's because I don't really feel like making 3 separate raid setups for raiding, and I feel it's unnecessary and a waste of jewels from being an F2P player. You guys can see that I've saved up quite a few jewels, but that's just because I'm waiting for something really nice to spend my jewels on. And yeah, it's just so that I don't have to spend like 1,000,000 jewels on 3 separate raid setups, and this setup will carry me through magic, power, and speed bosses as well. The setup is laid out like this because this rage form will get more strength in this slot than in the first slot, and then these 2 medals are here because they give full buffs to this medal, which actually deals the most damage. And yeah, just trust me guys, this setup is pretty sweet. And as a friend, this doesn't really matter because sometimes I actually kill it on my 6th medal, but as a friend I pull in Alyssa. She's got a pretty sweet raid medal as well, but I rarely have to use her if the raid combos proc. So this is my raid setup in action. I do not use supernovas actually because it tends to slow down my setup, and it also gives me less lux overall. And yeah, probably won't be killing it on the 6th medal unless I get really lucky. Yeah. But yeah, pretty sweet setup in my opinion. And we get a full 12 billion lux. So there we have it. That's my raid setup, guys, and the explanation for the stained glass 12. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please drop a like and a comment about what you think about it, and leave a subscription to the channel as well. It really helps out the channel, and yeah, it just really makes my day. So until next time guys, peace.